Greetings, everyone. This is episode 2. The Wizard is done. Just a recap from episode 1. We talked about Dorothy, and she really is the child in us. You know, it doesn't matter what your situation, she's a mirror of us. Because you remember as a child or growing up, even if you wasn't with your mother and father, you felt how you felt. How they seemed like they was crazy. You know, our uncles and auntie, they was fearful, they was cowardice, but you didn't have that. So in your mind, you wanted to go to a different place. So you created that thunderstorm. Dorothy created that thunderstorm that caused all these things to come because she wanted something new. So that's a mirror to our life. We create circumstances to experience life. Even in her childhood, they were trying to take her intuition away. How familiar? Toto. Remember the little dog? They was trying to take away her who she is. So she had to get away. So she created that storm. And what you have in your life, you're the creator of it. So own it because there's something you need to learn. As always, a lesson to learn. Okay, let us move on into episode 2. We're going to talk about the Scarecrow. And in my research, the Scarecrow represents the, let's say because he's in the field, that's the farmer. The farmer. You know, because this was written during the time, the farmer was having a hard time because they was kind of scared. You know, they didn't stand up to the system and unite. So that might be what the author is saying in this allegory of the Scarecrow. That his mind has forgotten its own brilliance. So make that mirror for you. You're very smart. You know that. But going to school, the miseducation will dumb you down. They don't want you to think. They want you to follow the program. Remember when you just sitting there creating, they call it daydreaming, but you was creating a reality. The teacher got so upset with you because you dare create in her classroom. She wants you to follow the program, just like the TVs are doing, putting everybody in a program state of mind to be distracted so they don't know what's really going on. So don't be that scarecrow. Break out of that matrix of being mind control. He believed he lacked a brain, but the truth is it's buried beneath layers of doubt and noise. That's why everybody has to get away sometime and just be quiet. Listen to yourself. You listen to everybody else. You scared of being alone? Something wrong with you. You came here alone and you're going to leave here alone. So you better get used to it and love it. That's the joy of children. They don't think about things like that because they remember when they was in the spirit. They didn't have movement. They didn't have smell. They didn't have touch. Now they can come here and run around and experience life like this. They remember. That's why they have the joy. So get away from that fear and listen to yourself. Get quiet. And you remember too. And you have the joy of life. Now, when you look at the Scarecrow, it's got a lot of wisdom because at times it shows itself as having wisdom, but yet it tells itself it don't have a brain. So you got to be careful what you say to yourself. If you tell yourself you're dumb, you're cursing the Creator. You're making yourself dumb by whatever your words. Your words are being created. The words create your reality. So stop programming yourself to failure. You get so fine tuned when you hear somebody say can't, you say, oh, they just use the Lord's name in vain, saying they can't. That shouldn't come out of nobody's mouth. And when I hear it, it just, whew, I just, it just doesn't vibrate with me. I don't want to hear people talk like that because they're buried under their programming, like the Scarecrow. Not that they can't, they just don't want to try. They don't believe, they have doubt in themselves. The straw is like scattered knowledge, you know, no structure to it. That's what straw is. No coherence. You know, esoteric knowledge, we talk about the straw man. Those familiar with that, the straw man? Yeah, just straw. He just go with the flow, no direction, no purpose. So don't be like that. Now, we talk about this fear that the straw man has. He's mocked all the time by these crows. You know, when you hear these crows, there's very mocking sound. Burp, beep. You got people like that in your life. Every time they make a sound, it's like they're mocking you with voices of discouragement. Child, you can't do that. Brother, you lost your mind. Because you open up to them. You give them the opportunity to mock you and discourage you like a crow does to that straw man. So you got to protect yourself from that. And keep your brain, keep your memory. Remember what it was. What it was like when you was in the spirit. The only way you can remember what it's like to be in the spirit is you got to get quiet and take yourself there or allow yourself to be taken there. Now, the message in the straw man is that you're not missing anything. People want to tell you, oh, you do this, you do that. You don't have the intelligence. That's a lie. You have all you need to be successful in whatever you want to do. You just don't know it. You don't see it. You can't feel it because of all the noise and the crows around you, the distractions, the TV programming, the family programming. That's why children run away from home. Like Dorothy, she said, oh, y'all people are crazy. I didn't come here for that. No structure, no love, just mocking them. Because the children really come here smarter than the parents. You're supposed to be listening to your child and learn. Because they've been here 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they think they know something. They don't know jack. The child is there to teach them to remember the joys of life. Because they just come from the spirit world. That's why they're so happy until you beat the happiness out of them. Can you imagine that? You beating your child because they're happy and you're not. So that's why Dorothy said, well, I'm out of here. I'm running away. So don't run your child away. Help enjoy, even if you don't feel like it. Try to experience the joy of life they have. They remember that time shared with them in joy. Fake it because they have joy. They remember what it's like in the spirit world. And now they can do all this. They can move and have their being, the creator in them. And that make you want to jump up right now, doesn't it? So let's see if we got any questions in the chat. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, greetings. We talked about the wizard. The wizard is done as a topic. We just talked about the scarecrow, straw man, and his nemesis representing as the scarecrow. Okay. Yeah, well, I got it backwards. The straw man, yeah, they're both really the same, straw man and scarecrow. Okay, what's going on in there? What's going on? Greetings, greetings, greetings. Anybody got some questions on what's being talked about? You know, when I have questions, I can go deep into the lessons. So a lot of y'all coming in late, y'all don't really hear the lessons. They just think I'm here. But I got a poster that says the wizard is done because you find out you are the wizard. There's no wizard above you. It's done. These are my symbols here. These are my ancestral symbols. I'll talk about later. Uh, if you question me, maybe I'll talk about them. So that's you there with your light, taking your journey, staying in the light. You got to take your light with you. You're done because you got the light in your hand. Nobody can trick you. Okay, so we reached our time limit. Well, we got a few more minutes. That's anything else I want to cover. Uh, for those who just coming here, go watch the first episode. You get much more. This episode makes much more to you if you watch the preceding episode. And this is a series. And even though it's a story, I want you to listen and apply it to your life. 'Cause we all have attributes of these characters in our life. The intuition, the tanto, the smallest and seemingly insignificant, but it's the one that pulled the curtain back, remember? It's all about love. And she loved that part of herself. That's why when they was trying to take it away from her, that was the last straw. She said, I'm out of here. So don't make an environment where your children want to leave because you don't have any joy with you. They have joy. And the reason why they become so grouchy and as they grow up and get teenagers and they become listless, because the school has beat up the joy out of them. And they hate that. They hate being forced to do something. So those who can't afford to, you should not have them in that system at all. Of course, do your own research. Don't believe nothing I say. I'm just a man on the internet with something to say. He think he got something to say. Okay, so I've talked and talked to give y'all time to write questions, but I can't answer a question nobody has asked. So I'm going to greet you as I came. Peace.